Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Get Fresh. This is a special, interesting episode. I think you're all going to find it that way. I have with me Corky White and Carlos Vargas, of course, from Vargas and Vargas Insurance. I met Corky, whose name is Mary, but Corky's a nickname, and we use it. She's a professor of anthropology at BU, right?
That's right.
And I met her at the Fuller Arts and Crafts Museum. She was doing with some other people a Japanese cooking expo or exhibition.
Yeah, it's an exhibition that's of Japanese cooking tools, and
Because they had a whole display there.
Yeah. So it's something that you don't usually see on the walls.
Right.
So it becomes art when it's on the wall, and we had fun doing it.
And look at this knife, Carlos.
Wow,
See that?
that's amazing, right?
It's got the Japanese writing on it
Yeah.
and everything. So we're going to make what's called
Inarizushi. It's a
Inari.
form of sushi that rarely has fish.
Oh,
And always it can be made ahead. So it isn't like other kinds of sushi.
okay.
It also can have some fillings that are kind of interesting. We'll try a few today.
Oh, great. And this is something that Japanese people eat at home versus the sushi you go to a sushi restaurant.
You can actually get inari sushi at restaurants, but it is more typically used in bento, in picnics.
Bento boxes.
Yeah, and in bento, it might be used for a school lunch, or it might be used for a corporate worker's lunch, or it could be used for those picnics you have under the cherry trees when they're blossoming, and
that sounds
you
picturesque.
drink a
It
lot.
does, yeah.
Yeah. So you're part of what you do is food anthropology?
I do.
Which is just amazing to me.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even know there
interesting.
was such a thing.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, actually, when I was coming up, there wasn't such a field.
Right.
I was a professional cook and wrote cookbooks and still do, but there wasn't a field called food anthropology, so I kind of had to wait until I was told, take all that stuff off your resume, you'll never get an academic job if you do food. So 30 years later, I can do food.
Okay, so today, tell us what's going on. You've got rice cooking in the rice cooker, which you can cook on the stovetop if you like.
Absolutely.
Any special rice?
Sushi rice, which
rice.
is a short grain rice, almost round. The kernels are almost round. You can often get that at Japanese grocers, sometimes at Korean grocers.
But would you find it at Whole Foods too?
You could.
Yeah.
Yes, you could. I'm also using in the rice maker and in your pot, if you're not using a rice maker, you would put a piece of
Seaweed?
kombu. Yeah,
Humble.
kombu. And kombu.
Now, is that dried?
This was dried and then I soaked it, so it's now damp. And kombu helps to flavor the rice. It's very subtle, but it goes also into dashi. Dashi is the broth, the soup stock that's
Right.
used for just about everything.
Right.
So this is kind of just a flavoring for this. Also in there will be, as soon as the rice is done, a set of seasonings that make it taste like sushi rice. And sushi rice always has rice vinegar. It often has mirin, which is a sweet rice extract, a sweet rice wine extract. And we'll put in some sugar.
Oh,
And
okay.
that all goes into the rice, which we will do when it's completely done.
Okay.
But the key thing is a fried tofu skin. And fried tofu skin you can buy.
Let them see the camera.
You can buy
Show that
this.
it's open too. See
can
how
buy-
it's like little baby
It's a
pita
pocket.
pockets.
It's
sorta?
it's called the inari pocket. There's a story about why fried tofu is called inari. Inari is the name for the fox god. And there are Shinto shrines dedicated to the fox god. The fox god is said to adore fried tofu.
Okay.
And so
We need to feed it to
when
him.
you go to these shrines, you often see little stalls selling this particular kind of sushi with the fried tofu skin. These are seasoned, not just fried. They're
Okay.
fried first and then seasoned in sugar, soy sauce, some of these things that we already have.
So they're squares cut in half, so
Yeah.
each side is a pocket.
And sometimes they're cut along the diagonal, so they're
Oh,
triangles.
right, that looks pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
So we should taste one.
Sure,
Only to see what these
What they
actually
taste like?
taste like.
Sure.
There you go.
absolutely.
You want to try or you know?
Thank you. Well,
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
Yep.
Nice. It's actually a little snack. I think you toast
You'll
them. You
find
could make
that-
a little snack.
You'll find
Okay.
that a lot of Japanese food, in fact, a lot of food in mainland Asia as well, has a sweet and savory component. I think
It's really good.
It's America and especially England who pull the savory and the sweet
right,
away
yeah.
from each other.
So what's Carlos going to be doing?
Like chopping some of these?
That is, yes, that is a daikon radish that has been pickled, and it's called takuan, named after a Buddhist priest in the 7th century.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this looks like a summer squash to me.
it does, right?
Yeah, but it's
But
that
it's
white.
hard.
Daikon. Yeah.
But the seasonings have made it turn yellow.
Okay.
So how
And-
small, how big?
I would say 1/8 of an inch.
1/8 of an inch?
Slices?
Any old way you like. They are going to be mixed with,
But do they end up getting smaller and chopped?
So make it
Yeah.
into a dice?
yeah, that looks good.
Looks like a lemon.
And then you're going
It
to
does.
chop it up fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many does he need to chop?
Well, I think,
mean,
I think
whatever.
you can do, we're going to make 20 or 30 of these.
Okay.
You probably
So
want to do two.
two of those maybe.
Okay.
And they are pickled with vinegar, so they're quite pickly. The other
And
one,
they're nice and chunky and crispy.
yeah,
which is great.
that's the other thing. Japanese food often emphasizes the variety of textures. You don't want everything to be,
Be
the same in your
mush,
mouth.
whatever.
Taste in Japan is about multiple things. It's not just what happens on your tongue. It's also what happens in your nose, your ear, what you hear, and the crunch of something adds to your
To the
experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that, do you want to mix?
Right. Well, what I'm going to do first is make the seasoning that's going to go on the rice. Rice wine vinegar. This is 3 small cups of rice. This is not 3 8-ounce cups.
Oh.
So this is according to the measurements given in the rice maker. So I'm going to put in, I'd say about 1/2 cup of rice wine vinegar.
Again, nobody measures.
Huh?
Again, nobody measures. We talk about
I
that.
never.
No, no
why
cooks
would I
measure, really.
No, when I had
Once they cook.
when I was writing cookbooks, the editor would come and watch me make something, put it in her hand, and measure it because I never did. So this is the mirin, which is a
I hear about that all the time. I use rice wine vinegar all the time, but
yeah,
I've
but
never
this
used
is
mirin.
a sweet cooking rice wine derivative. I should also put in the sugar now. You want it to, again, be kind of agrodolce. You want it to be sweet and sour.
So how much sugar are you putting in?
So
1/8 of a
we're
cup,
going to
maybe?
just stir to dissolve.
Okay.
Put a little of this in. So, and this would produce the kind of rice that you would use for other kinds of, like nigiri sushi or maki sushi.
Right. This is when you go to the restaurant. So it ends up sticky rice?
It's a little sticky, yeah, and you want it to cool as fast as possible.
Right, the rice when
So-
it comes out, which is why we have this pan ready.
Yeah. I should say that the other filling we're going to do besides pickles is spicy tuna, which you would not find in Japan, but it's kind of fun here. And this is obviously canned tuna, but it is mixed with something profoundly wonderful and Japanese, which is Kewpie mayonnaise. Now, I have no stock in the company, but
I
it's
know.
absolutely wonderful.
So there's a bottle in here, people. I don't.
Oh, there's a bottle in there.
There's a bottle in there, so
And-
it squeezes out.
Yeah, and there's another virtue for using Kewpie, which is that when you do squeeze it out, there are a variety of little, extruders, so you can
Oh,
make roses and you can do
Oh,
decor.
how cute!
Yeah.
All right, so is it open?
I think you have to.
I'm curious. I don't mean to be
Actually-
gross, but is it
No, no.
different than Hellman's?
They're different.
And in what way would you say?
This is less eggy, but there are
Uh-huh.
eggs. There are eggs.
Is it as oily?
No, and it's a little sharper. You can see you can make a.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's so
look at that. That's
cute.
fancy,
We made little stars.
right?
Yep. Oh, so taste it. You
Okay.
Put it on your finger.
Try some.
Oops.
Oh, it's got a little bit of a hit. What do you think?
Wow.
It's nice.
Great
It
mayo.
has lemon in it as
Yeah.
well. Vinegar
This
and
way,
lemon.
sweetie. Pull your stuff over.
So that went into
love that.
the spicy tuna
That's
along
really,
with some,
really good.
Flavor.
some
That would
scallions.
change anything.
Yeah, it would.
I
Yeah.
like that. So
Scal-
this is readily available
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
regular supermarkets or only Japanese?
I think Japanese supermarkets, maybe Korean markets.
Is there one around here? Does anybody know?
In Medford.
Well, that's not around here. And
Yeah.
in Brockton,
Depends
I
what
betcha.
here means.
Right, right.
Brockton, do you think Brockton?
I actually have never been in Brockton.
Sharon, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but you can also, there are online recipes for making your own Kewpie mayonnaise.
Yeah, they're
So
stretching it
from-
for me.
Yeah.
What's in your little bags there, those little
Well,
bags?
these bags are going to be used later. They
Okay.
are sprinkles. These are actually made in Maine.
Seaweed
And
sprinkles.
Oh,
Seaweed.
seaweed.
They have the same kind of kombu. They have sesame seeds, black sesame seeds. This one has cayenne, which probably does enter into Japanese versions of these
love
are
that
called
mayonnaise.
furikake. They're a whole different
Say
bunch
that
of
again?
them. Furikake. Furikake.
Because it sounded sort of bad, people.
Yeah.
Furikake.
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 And this one has bonito flakes. So this one is vegan and this one
So what are
isn't.
bonito flakes?
The fish, right?
It's a kind of dried tuna. Yeah, it's fish. So this actually really is good on avocado toast.
Oh, wow.
So
What about a bagel and cream cheese?
yeah, you
Because
could
it sounds
certainly
like
do that.
Yeah.
Because Trader Joe's makes a everything bagel sprinkle.
Sure. This
and it has
is
a little of
a-
all that in it. except
Exactly.
for the
This is a
seaweed.
Japanese version of the everything.
Okay. So
but
let's do
we'll
something.
all right. Now the first thing we're going to do is remove the rice.
What do you need? Oh.
That.
Yeah.
And remove, first of all, the kombu.
Piece of kombu.
Yeah.
Should I chop the greens as well? Should I chop the greens
Yes,
as well?
please.
And say again what
Those
they
are beautiful.
What are the greens?
you.
The greens are mustard greens. They've been
Mustard
pickled.
greens.
Yeah.
Pickled mustard greens.
Takara.
You can buy them that way, or you
Uh-huh.
can pickle them
You
yourself
can,
if you want.
exactly. So what we're going to do here,
This gets spread out.
yep,
needs
spread
to
that
cool?
out, because what we want is for the rice to cool very rapidly to maintain its stickiness. And we'll pour some of this over it while you spread it around. This is the seasoning. We'll keep back some of the seasoning because you'll need to use it as kind of a lubricant for your fingers while you're making these.
So is that spread around enough? Or
No, it's just,
No?
and while you're doing that, I'm going to cool it. In Japan,
And if-
you would use a fan.
Oh, wow.
And if I had known, I have a
Yeah.
fan, but look at that. Can we blow on it too?
Sure. What?
It's Jeremy.
So what you want is for it to absorb the seasoning liquids as fast as possible too.
What do you think? You taste it?
Really good.
Yeah?
I love the salty briny of the greens.
Yeah,
Carlos loves to cook, and I'm sure you're loving something new.
This is great.
this is great.
Because it gives you a whole new repertoire of foods to make at home.
Now let
some
me
of the-
just feel that to see how it's going. A little bit.
A little hot
more.
still.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm ready to put these together.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Did you pickle this yourself?
No,
Corky?
I did
You
not.
did.
I
You just bought
am
them?
So
afraid-
you want me to move this over
Yeah.
here?
This is term time. I'm teaching too much.
No
to
worries.
everybody.
No, just ask.
Okay, so do you need
Yeah.
this? You want a bowl?
No, I think we're just fine.
Okay.
So we can all do this together. It's fun.
Sure.
And
Keep stirring
actually,
this.
families
Stirring this?
do this together. What you want to do is take the inari wrapper,
Let's watch you do one.
yep, and you want put some water on your fingers. Now I'm going to make a
Daikon radish
daikon radish called takuan. I put a little bit of rice in
on top.
and a little rice on there. And then you just kind
Push
of
it down.
push it down, especially to keep a fold without
room
rice
for a
on
fold.
it.
Okay.
Because you're going to go like that, and you're going to
Yeah.
pull the top over. And then you
It's
put
like
it
a
down.
little dumpling.
Yeah,
right.
and you put it seam side down.
Did that rice seem good enough
Yeah,
now?
that's-
Okay,
that's really
Carla, so
good.
you can,
So-
we're all going to make these.
We're all
And you
gonna
can
make these.
put the filling in of your choice. I think what we should do is put the yellow pickle on this side,
Okay.
and then the tuna on this side, so we can see what we're doing.
Okay, so why don't you
yeah.
do,
You want me to do one of these?
you do one of
Yep.
those, and I'll do a tuna. Oh, you're doing tuna, all right. And what about this green?
Yeah, that's
Stuff.
the mustard greens. You
The
can
mustard
do
greens
that.
is so good. Did you also fry these, this tofu as well, or is it something you can buy already?
You can buy this already done, but I have, of course, done it from scratch when it wasn't available.
Sure.
It's a bit tricky,
Is it?
but since these are, let's see now, this
So what
was
if you
the
use like
tuna.
kosher dill pickles?
Why not?
Okay,
I mean,
it's just, you know,
I
things
think-
that
I
people
mean-
may have in the house.
sure. I mean, you can imagine all kinds of things. And then, is that a tuna?
That is not, that's a...
That's on the wrong
Okay,
side.
let's
the green,
put-
sorry.
Putting the
Let's
tuna
put
over
him
there.
over
Get with the
here.
program, will you? Okay.
So be sure that there's no
Too much rice?
No, it's not that. It's that you want that to be rice-free, that side.
Okay.
And we have enough here for about 40,
Do you really?
Inari.
Wow.
which...
Just time
and
consuming.
You can make them for the next day.
Okay.
They don't have, so that's another difference from other kinds of sushi, is that these can be made
Being made
ahead.
overnight, yeah.
Which makes,
How many would a person eat? I mean, like, is this their whole breakfast, for example?
no,
or-
this is a picnic adjunct. It wouldn't be the main thing, but it would be one of the many elements of a bento.
Right. But you can do whatever you want in life, right?
Absolutely. And you know, families have their own ways of doing things. There's no orthodoxy.
Right.
So a family
Too much
might,
rice in here.
you have, you know, grandma's way of doing it, and
And so do these get cooked or they're done?
they're done. They're ready to eat.
And if you don't do a good job with the rice and you end up, it doesn't shut,
It's kind of forgiving.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And then do you chill them?
It's probably not necessary. I've kept them overnight at room temperature.
I feel like they'd be great, like warmed up somehow.
Right.
No?
Well, never done that, but why not?
Yeah. Now, when I open these, this seems one side thicker than the other. Is that
yeah,
usual?
that's always true.
So if I put tuna in here, you put rice still in?
I put a little rice in, then a little tuna, a little rice.
All the same formula, basically. So tell us what's in this rice?
This
I
rice
mean, in this tuna? Sorry.
in the tuna.
Yes.
In the tuna is Kewpie mayonnaise,
Yeah, that's really good mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I really like that.
mayonnaise.
rice wine vinegar,
If you find some, get me some.
I will. Yeah.
a lot of sriracha.
Sriracha? Oh, is it really?
Oh, this is going to be a killer, so
Yeah,
I won't
yeah.
be eating
But
this.
it's not very spicy. I mean, everyone has their own measures for what is spicy, so
Sure.
I would never tell somebody this isn't spicy and then have them explode, you know.
Okay.
So you're a
This is
cookbook
fascinating.
author?
Yeah, tell us.
I am, yeah. In the very old days,
Very old days.
before I went to graduate school, I was a caterer without any prior experience of cooking at all.
Really? That was
And-
gutsy.
Yeah, it was gutsy and kind of stupid. But I got lucky in that I was catering for an organization at Harvard University where they had a lunch for 50 every week and 2 dinners for 25 each every week. So that was a full-time life. And these people were all Europeanists, so they knew European food. And I tried to stay away from European food because they knew that, and I
Sure.
wanted to cook something they wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And then I could get away with it. So I was cooking a lot of Middle Eastern food, which was unusual in those days. We didn't have ottolenghi yet. So I made quite a lot of food that was interesting and a little scary. I never made things that I had ever made before, so everything.
Oh, everything was new.
Yeah, flying
Oh, wow.
by the
Gutsy.
seat of my pants.
You are.
That's gutsy.
Yeah, but then someone came by the institute where I was catering, picked up the pile of, in those days, mimeographed recipes and took them away. And the next thing I knew, I got a call from a publisher in New York saying, "We're publishing your cookbook." I said, "What cookbook? What cookbook?" So it did come out. And then 2 years ago, then another cookbook came out too. 2 years ago, Princeton University Press picked it up and said, "We're going to do a 40th anniversary edition." So it came out again, much to my, just like the first one, much to my surprise. So I guess I write cookbooks.
I guess.
Yeah.
So tell me about this exhibit at Fuller. It started when I first met you. I don't remember when it was.
In June.
June. And when did it end?
It hasn't.
Oh, it's still going on, so you can still go and see it.
Please go. It's
at Fuller. It's a fabulous place. I love Fuller. I go there regularly. Our local Derek Diedrichsen, who does tiny houses, he's there a lot, and he has a whole room there. He's a great guy. So this is basically it. So you get a plate of these, and
Yes, and then we're going to sprinkle them once we're
let's sprinkle a few.
That's right.
So are we ready for that in timing? I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
We've
let
got
me
a few
just do
minutes
this
left.
one.
Sure, we can each do probably one more.
But I should tell you one story, at least out of my very young and innocent catering days. I was very lucky in another way, which is that up the road from me, from the place where I was catering, lived a wonderful person who offered to help when anything went wrong, which it often did. And
Were they Japanese?
that person was Julia Child.
Oh, wow.
And she was my angel.
Wow.
So one time I was making a pot of Ukrainian pork cabbage stew
My goodness
for 50
gracious.
people. Yeah, I know, what was I doing? But I made this pot of stew and
Okay.
I brought it over to the Institute and was heating it up, and 50 people were waiting for their lunch, and I noticed that it was burning on the stove.
gee.
And the smell of smoke of burning cabbage is probably the worst thing there is. I hate to think you have experience with that.
I don't.
Good, you're
My
lucky.
cabbage doesn't burn.
No, so I rushed into the kitchen, took the pot off the stove, and sat down on the floor and started sobbing. And then they said, "Call her." So
Julia Child.
Yeah. So I called
Please.
Julia,
Oh.
and she always knew it was me because I was always crying. And it was terrible. But so she said so many good things. She said, "Make sure they all have sour cream with this, because
covers up.
fat coats the tongue, and the scorchy, burny, acrid thing would disappear."
That's good to know.
Squeeze lemon into it, and then that changes the aroma profile. And all sorts of things. And then she said, "Get parsley." And I said, "What's that for?"
Right.
And she said, "That's silly. It makes it look pretty."
Right,
yeah.
of course, which is
Wow.
why I brought herbs.
Yeah.
did.
So finally she said, "Take it into the dining room and announce to everybody that the dish of the day is smoked borscht."
What a great Julia Child
She
story.
was
I love
really
that.
so
She was
smart.
amazing.
borscht.
Okay, so what are we going to season
What
with?
we're going to do
as we
now
winding
is
down.
we're going to sprinkle some of them with black sesame seed, roasted
Now,
black sesame.
is black sesame seed a different taste than white sesame seeds?
Yeah, it is.
But it's not peppery.
No. So I'm going to just decorate some of them on this side. It doesn't, there's no particular reason to put black on some. And then these interesting seaweed sprinkles from Maine,
Seaweed sprinkles.
which are called furikake.
I have a scissors somewhere if you need it. Got it?
Should have brought a scissors.
Yeah, where's my scissors? Oh,
It's okay.
it's probably put away.
So
Let's open the other one while you're doing
these
that.
you put on right before you eat them,
Oh, I
because
see. Oh, thank you.
otherwise they get soggy.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So these are the seaweed sprinkle that is
sprinkle.
basically cayenne and seaweed
Wow.
and white
Wow, it's
sesame.
nice smoked salmon type of
Yeah.
aroma
Yeah,
to
that's
them.
got bonito
This is a
in it.
fish.
Let's
Yeah.
do it like this.
And does that changes the taste?
Yeah. So the other thing about this kind of sushi is that you do not need to dip it in anything.
Oh,
Because the skins have already been cooked with soy
yes.
sauce.
All right, let's give it a try.
Skins.
Pick one.
Me?
Tell us.
Want to
Me
go
first?
for the sriracha tuna?
Sriracha tuna?
No, that's here.
Sriracha tuna.
And I will try one of these.
And I'll try one of these.
You don't need to dip them into anything. You're so flavorful. And
You should try this.
I will. I will.
That's really good.
And this has got the bonito
That's
flakes
the
on it.
tuna. With the
Really
sriracha,
flavor.
but it's really not bad.
You could actually add pickles to the tuna as well.
These are really very good. They're actually
love the
better than I
bonito
thought
flakes,
they
yeah.
would be. I gotta be honest with you. I hate to be obnoxious, but I don't think they look all that
No.
appetizing. But yummy. Boy, are they good.
A little,
It'll be a really interesting hors d'oeuvre,
yeah,
you know, at a
absolutely.
party and
They're
And-
very good for drinking because they're a bit salty.
Sure. And so easy to make once you have the rice done.
Yeah,
It's almost like a
so I'm looking inside.
it's just an assembly job.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is a pickle one. Yeah.
pickled one. You don't like the pickled ones?
No, that was the green.
Oh,
What was that?
time to wrap it up. I think we're going to continue
Yeah,
eating these.
exactly. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for coming and explaining. This is a pretty unique show. It's an interesting kind of cooking. It's not the usual run-of-the-mill. Your story about Julia Childs is fabulous.
Yeah.
And the Fuller Craft Museum is wonderful, so everybody must go.
Wonderful place.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for joining Get Fresh. Come and watch all our episodes. They're online at StoughtonTV.com and also on YouTube. You can link to it. Thank you very, very much, Corky.
Thank you.
Thank
Fran.
you,
Nice to hang out
Carlos.
with you
It
as
was
well.
great.
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Thank you all.